Hi, my name is Julian Williams. I'm a professional surfer, and this is the American Athlete. I was like 4 foot tall, riding a board that was like this thick, one big fin in the back, so it was like riding a gun pretty much for me, a big step-up gun. It really all started with me going underneath the house. It's kind of up on stilts a little bit. And I pulled this yellow single fin board that was shaped like back in the 70s when my grandfather and my grandmother first moved back to Hawaii. They stopped and this lady was selling a board on the side of the road, and he didn't know it at the time how important the board is to me and how important the board is to surfing in general. It happened to be a very famous shaper, Dennis Pang. I was kind of the only one riding this huge board, so I was always kind of looked at like, oh, what are you doing, you know? And like, I had this big afro, and a lot of the times I was the only one like that looked like me. And I didn't really notice it when I was kind of going until I was in high school, when I was starting to travel out of Hawaii and being out here in California. I didn't see too many people that looked like me even in Hawaii, and it wasn't really until I was kind of taken under the wing with Buttons Kalani that I kind of found somebody that looked like me in the water, and I started getting more comfortable and like understood where I belong. So it wasn't like immediately that I started like, oh, kind of getting into this dynamic of I'm also Hawaiian, I'm not just black. So being that I'm surrounded by a bunch of native Hawaiians, I still wasn't fitting that mold, you know? So I couldn't necessarily fit in with this crowd. And then the crowd that was like literally just up the road from where I surfed every day, I couldn't fit it with that crowd because I didn't look like them either, or my parents didn't surf, so like they didn't have friends, so I wasn't able to get into their little circle. So I was kind of always in this little bubble. Yeah, Buttons just allowed me to feel like I had a place in the water, and he taught me how to love the ocean and how the ocean can love me back. With this contest, I mean, he's just given us the platform to show up at Huntington Beach, which is like, you know, where the US Open is held, and it's the biggest kind of stadium aspect that you can get as a surfer. So to be able to perform at that place in front of judges who judge at that pro level as well, you know, to be able to get that experience is a big deal for any type of surfer, to be honest, black, white, Mexican, whatever. It is a big deal. So to be able to surf against the best people in the community who are coming from the Dominican Republic, coming from Senegal, coming from the East Coast, just to be able to see how much representation it really is there, you know, because then growing up, like I was telling you, there was no representation. I kind of had to be that one person out there surfing just because I love to do it and wanted to allow others to be able to have that opportunity as well. I was a part of the Black Surfers Collective, volunteering, teaching people how to surf throughout the LA South Bay. And at the time, my mentors, the people who put together the Black Surfers Collective, Marie and Greg Rochelle, they introduced me to Nate. He was talking to Greg about having a surf contest, and I wanted to be like one of the biggest gatherings for black surfers on the beach. And they were like, oh, that's perfect. We actually have a black Hawaiian surfer here that wants to compete. He wants to be at that top level. I mean, he sees himself being in the WSL. So this would be a great conversation to have. So he talked to me about, okay, we're gonna have WSL judges. And I was like, oh, so where is it gonna be? Oh, it's gonna be at the south side of the Huntington Pier. And that one already was like big check in the box, because the US Open was a contest that I've always wanted to compete in. When I was like 14, I was running around that contest by myself, and Julian Wilson was one of the competitors that year, and in the parking lot they had a parking stall reserved for his mom, and it said Julian's mom's parking. So I was on my way home, I took that sign and I took it home, and I told my mom, like, this is gonna be your parking spot, you know. And I never knew that competing at the Great Day in the Stoke would ever lead to a US Open wild card. Was very blessed and very grateful to have that. The commentators were really stoked, and when I came on the beach, like, I didn't realize how many people actually knew who I was. I had little kids coming up asking for photos and autographs, and like the light went off, and this is where you belong. Yeah, the Great Day in the Stoke is a really good platform to allow us, yes, to come together as a community, but then to show out as a community as well. In the short term, I'm looking to compete on the regional qualification series, and then using that to get into the US Open. I would love to have another shot to be able to do a little bit better this next time. big picture, if we're looking maybe 4 years in advance, I want to be in the Olympics. It'll leave an even bigger mark for me to be an Olympian, especially in the space being the first Black Hawaiian surfer in the Olympics. Whatever I gotta do to be able to get there, I want to be in either the 2028 Olympics or the 2032 Olympics for surfing. And then using that to open up an athletic training facility, allowing kids that look like me, anybody to be honest, opportunities to learn not only about surfing, but to respect the ocean as well. I want to teach ocean safety later on after that, like kind of like an Olympic development facility to be able to, open more doors.
Last one, I'm gonna pull out right here.